Hello guys, finally we can move on to the facial expression, which in my opinion is probably one of the most fun part of doing rigging. But before we go do any blend shape, I also need to change the method I rig those geometries around the eye that include the eyebrow and the eyelashes. Now let's select all of them here, and then I need to separate those into geometries. So separate. That way I have them all separated. Okay, let's select them all and then Alt Shift D to delete their history. It's probably better to give them names. So this is the left eyebrow. Okay, and then the other one will be right eyebrow. This one will be right eyelashes, or just eyelash. The other one will be left eyelash, of course. Oh, probably upper eyelash because I have the lower one. Sorry about that. So this one will be the lower eyelash for the right side, and the other one will be the left side, the lower eyelash. Okay. Now let's grab those groups, the eyebrow group, eyelash group, and then lower eyelash group, those three groups. Let's group them all together. Let's call this, you know, eye alignments, something like that, or the alignment around the eye, you know, just to have some name to describe them. Now I need them to follow the skin, but because I delete the history already, they're not moving at all. Okay, so to do that, and this time I'm gonna use something called the wire deformer. So we need some wire. Let's go select those edges here for the eyebrow and go to modify, convert polygon edges to curve. Okay, that will create a polygon curve to you here in the outliner. Now if you go grab the geometry here and try to move it, you see now this curve follows the geometry. Okay, like that. Let's name this one left eyebrow wire. Okay, of course we need the same thing on the other side, so let me just do it here real quick. Make sure you're selecting the same edges on the other side. Go to modify, convert polygon edges to curve. I'm just gonna put it on the shelf here. Okay, now that one also need to be renamed to right eyebrow wire. Let's do the same thing for the upper and lower eyelashes for both sides. So that one, okay. That one will be called left upper eyelash. And then let's select from there, let's see, all the way go to here. That's the left lower eyelash. Alright, cool. Let's do the same thing on the other side, you know, because we have two sides. This one will be, let's see, make sure you're selecting the right thing. I think if you have like some misagreement between those two selections, it's gonna be working fun, but you know, it just doesn't look that organized. So let's see that one. And then, okay, we're going from here, go all the way to here. Okay, I have two more. They will be renamed the right side upper eyelash and then right side lower eyelash. Okay, now I have all those curves, 6 of them actually, I need to use those curves now to control those 6 geometries. If you count them, there are 6 geometries. Let's select all of them, including curve and geometries, and then let's go to deform, wire. Okay. Select this model here and press enter, and select the curve underneath it, and then press enter one more time. That will actually create the control. Let's do that on all 6 of those. Again, deform, wire, select the model and press enter, select the curve and then press enter. Let's do the same thing here. It's just gonna put it on the shelf. Where is the curve? It's here. Okay. Same thing here. The curve. Okay. This one. Can just press G to redo the wire deformer. Oh, make sure you're selecting the right one here. Okay, now all of those are wire deformed. That means now if I try to do something with the skin, the geometry here will follow because first we have the model control the curves. So when I drag the model, the curve changes, right? The curve here changes with it. Okay, and also because of the wire deformer we did on the geometry, then those curve will control the geometry here. The reason I don't use the wrap deformer anymore is because that is, especially when I'm doing the eye controls, it's gonna be really hard to make the eyelash to maintain its shape, especially when closing the eyelid. You know, that's almost impossible to do that. So that's why I use wire deformer instead of wrap deformer. I think that wrap deformer can do very well on the eyebrow though. But anyways, let's just convert everything into wire deformer. Now before we move on to do more changes, you also want to go select all 6 of those geometries and then go to the channel box and then find the inputs. Okay, find wire, and then let's change the drop-off distance to something really high. Oops. Otherwise, when you move too far away, when you move things too dramatic, it's gonna have some sort of fall off, so you have no full control on those shapes. Anyways, now I have those wire deformer created by using those curves. You also see that there are duplications here which are also hidden. They're called the base. Okay, you want to select all of them and then group them together. Let's call this one the facial wire GRP. Okay, now this one goes to the head rig group. Okay, now let's try to do some movement. If you do that, you see now the curve here actually is having double transformation here, which is not cool. The reason for that is because one movement is coming from the translation because of that the curve are now the children of the master mover now. Another movement will be actually the deformation we did from the geometry movement that causes the vertex on the curve to move with it. To solve that problem, all we have to do is uncheck their inherent transform here. Okay, they all need to be unchecked. Okay, so now the movement works. But I have another problem. When I move it, the model actually not moving. That's because we checked out the inherent transform, and then what Maya actually does with wire deformer is actually it tries to compare this one with this hidden one. They're the same shape, and see if they're different. And in our case, if we drag it away, both this one and that one are moved, so they are the same. That's why nothing is moved here. In this case, I need to move them manually myself, and it's actually very simple. All I have to do is use the neck controller here to do a parent constraint and a group of the eye elements, which is a group we did earlier to have all the geometry, all 6 of those, into one group, right? We just need to use this controller to do a constraint, parent constraint, and also constraint, scale constraint on the group. Now if you try to move it, you see everything moves with it. The scale should also work if you do that. Okay. And that wraps up of the new way to create, to control the eyelash and the eyebrow geometries. For the facial wear GRP, let's just add it to keep things clean. Okay, so that's wear deformer, and let's move on to do some more blend shape. To start with, let's do the eyebrow. So I'm gonna select those geometry here. Let's isolate those, and then let's go to sculpt. Where is the sculpt shelf? Oh, it's here actually. Let's go to the shape editor here, and then select the model. Let's create a new blend shape and call this one facial expressions. And then right click on it. Let's add a new target. Let's call this one eyebrow app. And then let's also go to vertex mode and start changing the shape. I want both sides, so let's turn on symmetry. And then let's select those vertex and drag them up. You also want to have the middle one moving with it too. So let me grab those and drag them up. Now the shape of the eyebrow when it goes up will probably ends up like a curve. So like this. I'm gonna drag those more just to make it more smooth. You may also want to go back to one button on the keyboard just take a look at the actual geometry instead of the smooth preview, just to make sure it's also smooth, or the topology should be fluid. One more thing you also don't want to mess up with is that you don't want to change the shape of the eye too much. You can change the surroundings down the way, but the thing is you still want to keep the eye fairly intact, because when the animator is doing the animation, they want to have full control of how much things moves, so they will animate the eye and the eye and the eyebrow separately. That's why we want to keep them separated too here. Okay. You may go a little bit more exaggerated. Again, the shape of the eyebrow is unique for every character, so it doesn't have to be like mine on yours. You can design what kind of eyebrow should looks like when the eyebrow is up. It's more like a artistic choice to me, in my opinion. But for cartoony character though, you may want to go further than you think they are capable of, to exaggerate it. Okay. Okay, now that's good enough. Let's go there and oh, you see there's some kind of wobbling happening. I think that's also your choice. I think that happens in real life too. When you raise your eyebrow up, you kind of have a little budge here. I guess I can keep that here. Okay. Anyways, so that's the eyebrow up. One more thing you may want to do is, just squeeze this in a little bit to maintain the volume there. Maybe not too much. Okay. This is the time I actually blend shape is actually testing your modeling skill. It's pretty much modeling here. You can use sculpting too if you want it. I'm just gonna drag it. I think that's cleaner than the sculpting too. Okay. To have some unwanted shading here happening. Okay, so that's the eyebrow up. We can drag this slider and see how it looks like. Okay, good enough. Now I also want to have like individual controls on different part of the eyebrow. So with only this controller, it's far from enough to create variations on the expression. Okay. Oh, before I do that, let's also just finish the eyebrow down. So let's lower down the eyebrow up to make it go all the way down. Let's right click on the facial expressions again. This time we're gonna do eyebrow down. Okay. Eyebrow down is pretty similar. Oops. All I have to do is drag the vertex on the eyebrow, drag them down. Again, you have to be really careful about not touching too much on the eye geometry. But you want to make it exaggerated though. Let's drag those down, and you may also want to drag them forward a little bit. It's like, when the skin is sliding on the skull is a smooth curve in the front. That's why it's not only going down but also going forward a little bit. Okay, I guess that's enough. Let's do the same thing on the outside, just making sure everything is going down. At some point we're gonna have the eye moved a little bit because we're actually really exaggerating this pose, and that way the eye should be actually be going down. So let me make it go down further than that. Maybe that's too much in the middle. I think I'm going a little bit too far, but depending on what kind of effect you're looking for very exaggerated cartoony character, that's not even enough sometimes. I do see people do that all the way down to the middle of the eye. Anyways. Okay, that's pretty much it. I think that's maybe a little bit too much, but yeah. So that's the eyebrow go down. So now we have up and down. Okay. Now let's break those shapes into multiple ones. First, let's crank up the eyebrow up. And then right click on it. Oh, let's turn off the edit here. Okay. Select the eyebrow up and right click on it and then rebuild target. That will actually create a new target like that. Okay. Let's also turn off the eyebrow up and turn on the eyebrow down. Right click on it and then rebuild target. Now we have two targets. One is eyebrow up, another one is eyebrow down. Okay. With those two actually extracted from the blend shape now, I don't need those two, so let's just delete those two. And then I also need this geometry, the original shape, to be duplicated here. And then let's unlock the new ones, translate, and then drag this one out. Okay. Now let's name this one the base. Okay, everything is done here. All I have to do now is break those two into multiple ones. To do so, I need a plugin called the Dlo Tools. It's actually all I need is the blend taper. Oops, I think I need to reload the plugin. The blend taper here. This plugin or this particular one is written by the author of Don't Stare. Okay, a very nice facial expression book. So let's use this one to break our shape into multiple ones. Let's go grab the body geometry base, the one we duplicated from the original shape here. That's gonna be the choose base shape. Okay, press this button to get it in. And then to break those models up, let's do that here first. All we have to do is select this model. Okay, and then make division plane. And then all we have to do is scale this plane to make it go into the middle of the geometry. Every time when you scale and Maya gives you a warning, that's not a good stand here. You may want to go to the tool settings of the scale and reset the tool here. Make sure when you scale things, there will be no warning. Alright, now let's just scale those this division plane to make it like in the middle between the eyebrows, and then build shapes. Then we'll break this up into two small shapes, one for the left side, another one for the right side. Okay. Let's go select. I don't need that one actually, so let's delete it. Oops, actually the other one. I only need the right side. With this one selected, let's make another division plane. Here I'm gonna make this those two planes mark the region of the left eyebrow, the right eyebrow here. Let's build another shape. Okay, doesn't have to be precise. That will break this one up into two models. One is the eyebrow going up on the on the inner side of the eyebrow. The other one will be the outer side. Okay, now let's grab this one and make division plane one more time. I'm gonna make this one marking here only the this half, the outer half of the eyebrow. Okay, or in other words, this plane here will be in the middle of the eyebrow. Build shapes. So now we have this one also breaked up into two shapes. Let's do the same thing for this one here. So make division plane. This time I'm gonna mark the two planes in the middle, or make those two planes here mark the inner half of the eyebrow. This one will be in the middle again. Let's build shapes. Okay. Now I have that and that. Now, if you take a look at this kind of hierarchy or inverted pyramid, you see now we have break this one into two, and then those two also will be break into 4 blend shapes, and all those 4 added together will be that one. Okay, now I don't need those anymore, so I have to select the top 4 blend shapes and press Shift P to unparent those, and then delete all 3 of those. I also don't need that one anymore, so delete it too. All I need is those. Yeah. For those, let's rename them from the far right side of the eyebrow all the way to the inner side of the eyebrow. Let's rename them eyebrow blend shape 01. Okay, that one will be 01. Oops, not that one. This one will be 01. So this one is actually 02. That is 01, 02. That's 03, and that is 04. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4 from the right side to the middle. 1, 2, 3, 4, and let's duplicate 4. Oops. Drag the 4 down. Duplicate 4, that will create 5. Duplicate 3, that will create 6. Duplicate 7, that will have create 2, that will create the 7s, and then the last one will be duplicated from the first one here. Now we have 1, 2, 3, 4 all the way to 8 blend shapes. Okay, now let's select all 8 of them one by one from the far right side to the far left side. Let's go back to the shapes. Right click here and then add selection as target. That will actually add all those shapes into the list of the blend shape. Now let's go there and take a look what they're doing. If I drag this one, it's gonna move the other part and then 2 middle parts, and then the last part will be somewhere at the tip of the eyebrow. If we do the same thing for the last 4 sliders, they're doing the same thing, but I want it to be on the other side. To do so, I need to right click. Let's drag them all up. Okay, right click and then flip target to flip it to the other side. Let's flip all of them. Okay, now I have both sides, and I have 8 blend shapes in total to control the eyebrow go up. This way I can have like more unique shapes, like, you know, probably a side shape here like this, or I'm not sure if you can do this, but you know, a angry one. But I haven't do the eyebrow go down yet, so I cannot do that very dramatic. So let's do the eyebrow down. It's the same process. I have the eyebrow down model here. Let's break this one up. Let's go to the taper again. I need that original base shape. Okay, and then let's break this one up. Oh, by the way, I don't need those anymore, so let's delete those just to keep things clean. So make division plan and then scale them in, and then build shapes. Again, I only need one side because I can mirror it. Let's make division plan here one more time. This one is gonna be marking the eyebrow area. Okay, let's break this one more time. Okay, I think that's the that's the right side, that's the left side. Okay, let's break those two also. Okay, build shapes. Do the same thing for the other part, the other half. Okay. Two more shapes here. Oops. We end up with 4 shapes, just like the ones we had before on the eyebrow up. Now they're eyebrow downs. Again, I don't need those ones, so select those 4 and Shift P, and then let's delete all those. Okay, now let's rename those. So this one will be called, oh, you know what, I should name them eyebrow up instead of just eyebrow. I always forget to do that. So those need to be named eyebrow up, so I know that they're eyebrow up. Sorry about that. This tutorial is gonna be longer, but you know, we have went over a lot of things here. So that's the eyebrow up, those will be eyebrow down. Let me copy the name here. Okay, so this one will be renamed eyebrow down. Blend shape 01, and that will be 02. Oh, just need to copy this name and paste it here, and that's gonna be 03, and the other one, the last one, will be 04. Okay, let me drag them in the right order. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And duplicate 4 to create number 5, duplicate 3 to control to create number 6, and number 2 will be duplicated for number 7. The last one will be duplicated for number 8. Now let's select 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Go to here again and then add selection as target. Great, now we have 8 more. Again, I don't need those anymore, so let's delete those. Now let's go back and see what we got. Oh, so that's the eyebrow go down blend shapes. I also need to flip the other 4 to make them go the other side, so let's grab those. I right click on those and then flip target. Great. Now I have those 16 in total to create the eyebrow movement. I need sliders instead of those things to control them. So to create sliders, we can use the slider plugin in Dlo Tools. Okay, let's create a new slider here. Let's call this one eyebrow. Okay, and Maya will create something at the bottom. Let's drag it up, and then probably make it bigger. And then right click on it. Let's select this dot in the middle. Right click on it, go to preset limits to vertical. That way you can drag it up and down. Now I have 16 total, but because I can make one controller to move a portion of the eyebrow go up and down, so actually I only need 8 of those controllers. So let's duplicate it. 8 times. Okay, so 8 sliders here. Let's grab the first one, go to set active, and then go grab the model here. And find facial expressions, and then let's find the up blend shape 01, and then right click in the viewport and select positive Y. That way when I drag the slider up, it's gonna control that particular portion or that particular blend shape. Okay, let's now go to the facial expression one more time. I also want that one to control the down blend shape 01, and this time right click in the viewport, let's select negative Y. That way when I go down, it's gonna move that portion down like that. Cool, right? Let's do the same thing for all those 8 controllers. So set active first, and then select the attribute you want the slider to control. In this case, I'm gonna control the 02, positive Y, and then the down 02 will be negative Y. That's why I name it this way, so they're aligned like that. It's very easy to find the right attributes, because I just need to go from the left side all the way to the right side, and here it's go from top down like that. Set active here, and then facial expression, and that one will be positive, the other one will be negative. Okay, cool. So all we have to do is do this one by one. So let me finish here real quick. Facial expression, positive, negative. Set active, facial expression, positive here, and then negative here. Set active. You see, this is faster than trying to create a slider yourself, although you can do that. I believe you guys know how to do that already. It's just that this is much faster by using plugins. That's why a lot of programmers are riggers. A lot of riggers are programmers, because they have to find out the faster way, and they actually program those things here. So you can just use those quick command instead of doing everything from scratch. Okay, last one here. Oops. Oh, come on. Okay. Positive here, and then negative here. It's making sure everything is connecting the right portion. I think they're all fun. Alright. Let's press up button and grab all the controllers and move them down. One last little trick here is that we can now select this one and press up button, and let's rotate it this way. I move it down a little bit. Okay, and rotate the next one. Press up and rotate it again here, and then maybe a little bit on this one. Okay, let's do the same thing on the other side. Doesn't have to be exactly the same though. Just pretty much there. Okay. Now, if you align the controllers this way, you can have a very interesting ways of doing the base blend shape, which is now if you grab all the controllers here and just drag any one of those, you can create like those kind of shape faster. So if you want to do like a angry shape, you can just grab those four and then do this. Or if you want to do sorrow, you can do this. Of course, you can do individual ones if you wanted to. So not that much different, but you know, kind of more intuitive to animate. But now you see we can use all those blend shapes here to do any kind of you know, eyebrow expressions. So those this setup is being used a lot. The basic idea is that you want to break up the shape into multiple ones, so you can control individual part individually. That way you have more control and more flexibility on the animation. Okay, I guess that's it. Making sure you have all those things here. And we can do more later on. We haven't done the front here, right? So it's not doing anything here yet. But we went over all the blend shape needed for the eyebrow, eyelash, and the mouth. So a lot of things to do, but those are the basics.